れたものはいつか思い出すはずでしょう。消えた夢の影を探した寂しさの答え儚さを愛触れてた風に流れて僕は君を愛せていたか少し気づくことが遅すぎだんだん消えてゆく明日さえも崩れ落ちてゆく何もないここで一人きりいつかまた最後の日を迎えられてみれまた生まれ落ちた君が望む日
We are learning more about a Detroit mother charged with the killing of her 9-year-old son. Police say an arrest made months ago may have saved the life of a 3-year-old child. 41-year-old Brandy Pierce faces murder and child abuse charges in Detroit. She's accused of smothering her 9-year-old son Zamar and burying him in the backyard. New arrest warrants show police arrested Pierce in Brookhaven in December for child cruelty against her 3-year-old. Police say Pierce told them they were homeless and living out of a rental car at the time. 11 Live's Angelina Salcido has more.
October 2024.
The cause of death found by the medical examiner was smothering and neck compression.
A gruesome death.
It's alleged that she purchased a shovel. She bound him by tying his hands and feet together and dug a hole in the background of the house on Whittingham, where she had been living for a short time.
Detroit prosecutors say 41-year-old Brandy Pierce killed her 9-year-old son Zamar. His remains not found until January 6 this year, buried behind a garage at the rental home where she lived with him and 3-year-old Zor. Neighbors shocked to learn what happened there.
It's sad, though. It's really sad that that happened.
Sources say the landlord found the home empty 2 days before Thanksgiving. Pierce left to Georgia with her 3-year-old, but was arrested in Brookhaven at a Dollar General for cruelty to children. Officers found Zor in the front seat, naked. Documents show both front seats were pulled forward, a small deflated air mattress placed in the middle. Pierce was arrested again by Cobb County deputies on January 10th for possession of a controlled substance and theft. Back in Detroit,
we are charging Brandy Catrice Pierce today with 1 count of murder in the first degree premeditation. Count 2 is homicide felony murder.
Angelina Salcido, 11 Alive News.
Right now, Pierce is in the Cobb County Jail on a $15,000 bond. Officials in Michigan are moving forward with extradition efforts so she can face charges in connection to the 9-year-old's death.
Hello YouTube, I'm back again with another video. My opinions theory that brought this to my attention. I want to talk about this woman named Brandy Pierce who literally outright murdered her son Zamar King. And the crazy thing about the situation is that how her son literally tried to tell CPS that his own mother wanted to kill him, but they didn't want to believe him.
Now, a Detroit woman is in custody in Cobb County accused of killing her 9-year-old son. Authorities in Michigan say 41-year-old Brandy Pierce buried him in the backyard before fleeing here to Georgia. 11 Alive's Karis Belger is live for us in Cobb County right now. Karis, there's a lot of puzzle pieces to this case. What can you tell us about why Pierce was arrested?
Well, Pierce was originally arrested on January 10th at the Cumberland Mall. Authorities say she was driving a stolen rental car. Right now, she's in custody here at the Cobb County Jail. Michigan authorities want her back in their jurisdiction so they can charge her with murder and also child cruelty. So here's what we've been able to learn so far about this case. Pierce is accused of killing her son, Zamar King, in October of 2024 and burying his remains in the backyard of the home she was renting. Sources tell our sister station in Detroit, Michigan, that neighbors saw Pierce acting strangely but did not think a crime occurred. Construction crews discovered a shallow grave while renovating the home on January 6th of this year. Now, police believe Pierce fled with another child, her 3-year-old son, here to Georgia. We understand he is currently in foster care. For right now, Michigan authorities are moving forward with extraditing her back to the state. In Cobb County, I'm Kara Spelger, 11 Alive News.
Based on like the abuse that he was going through, his mother basically wouldn't allow him to go to school for a year. She would starve him. He tried asking several people for help. And I'm not sure whether it be the visitors or family, but I'm sure the moment they left and they didn't help the boy, this woman decided to take matters into her own hands and taking this boy's life. And based on what I gather, that she literally hid his body in the backyard after she left the house at Detroit.
We're learning more about a mother accused of killing her child and hiding here in Metro Atlanta. Brandy Pierce is facing charges from Detroit, Michigan to Atlanta.
Yeah, Fox 5's Kevin Stewart is live at the Cobb County Jail with the local twist. Kevin?
Yeah, Pierce is still here at the Cobb County Jail awaiting extradition, but her legal troubles in Metro Atlanta actually begin in DeKalb County. Back on December 20th, someone told a security officer who then told Brookhaven police a little boy was alone in a locked SUV in Northeast Plaza.
He was completely nude.
A 3-year-old with feces in the back seat.
The vehicle was not running. That particular day, the temperatures were in the mid to low 40s.
Police say the child's mother, Brandy Pierce, eventually walked out of a plasma donation center.
There appeared to be an air mattress inside of the car, and the mother did claim that she was in between homes, had just moved from out of state and was trying to get back up on her feet.
But according to authorities in Detroit, Pierce came here in November to avoid justice.
They saw the foot sticking out of the ground, and it went from there.
That January discovery in Detroit was the beginning of the unraveling of the murder of 9-year-old Zamar King, killed in October. This is Brandy Pierce's other son, found dead in this shallow grave in a backyard in the house Pierce rented.
The cause of death found by the medical examiner was smothering and neck compression.
Authorities in Michigan have charged Pierce with murder, child abuse, and concealing a death. Her other child is still here in DFAC's custody. After bonding out of DeKalb County Jail on child cruelty charges, Cobb County arrested her at Cumberland Mall on possession of a controlled substance and theft by deception charges.
We have been in contact with the agencies that are in Detroit, so we've been working with them this week to try and get them all the information that we have.
Now, that theft by deception charge is actually tied to the SUV she was found in. Allegedly, she rented that vehicle and didn't return it. Reporting live in Cobb County, Kevin Stewart, Fox 5 News.
Wow. It's very disturbing news. I'm trying to be careful what I say, you guys, because I'm sure this is going to break a lot of people's hearts. And the thing is, though, like, this does not catch me by surprise, because apparently there are a lot of single mothers out there, but because I really don't understand the logic behind this, but whenever their like boyfriends aren't around and they're left behind to take care of their kids, they literally take their anger on these children. So basically, as a way to vent their anger because of the fact that their boyfriends left them to be the only caretaker for their own kids. And it gets very frustrating. They get aggravated. But when I still don't understand is how you could take it out on an innocent child that you gave birth to. And I mainly see this with women. You don't see this too often with men. Men know that even when they are single, yes, they'll get frustrated. They'll be strict with their kids. But I don't think to the point where they'd be willing to severely take their own kid's life. So the frustration must really be getting to them. But it's weird as hell. But the thing is, though, is they're taking out on the wrong person.
And to Detroit now, where a mother is charged with the murder of her 9-year-old son.
The remains of Zamar King were found buried in a backyard home in January. Zamar's mother, Brandy Pierce, facing a judge today, charged with 5 counts including first-degree murder.
The 7 investigators finding Brandy Pierce was the subject of a Child Protective Services complaint at least 4 times. Records showing she told CPS he had not been, or rather Zamar told CPS he had not been to school in over a year, did not always have food, and said his mother would strike him with a belt and choke him. Zamar saying his mother wanted to kill him, and according to internal records, CPS closed the case, finding no evidence of physical neglect.
6 months later, Zamar was dead. 7 News Detroit reporter Randy Wimbley is following this case in Detroit.
If they're really struggling with life, is the one thing I would never say. Why they don't, the first thing they do, why don't they take these kids up for adoption? If the pressure is really getting to them, and if they're really stressed, or if they're living in the car, there's someone that'd be willing to take care of their own kids, who'll be able to look after them. But you know my thing is though, I truly believe the reason why they're not willing to give up their kids to someone who's willing to take care of them, I think it's because they're trying to benefit off of child support. That's really how I'm looking at it, you guys. So even though it would make their life less strenuous, and they wouldn't have to deal and have to look after their kids, they're also looking at the benefits. So they feel like, even though I gotta look after my kid, and I can still make money, and I can treat them however I want to. But one thing I understand is that if you are getting paid literally child support, wouldn't the smart thing be able to protect your kid, to make sure no harm is being done? So it's like you're losing your child support by literally abusing your kid while he is under while he's under your supervision, while you're the one that's supposed to look after him, because in return, while you look after him or her, is that you'll be getting paid as well, by whether it be by the baby daddy, the ex-husband, or ex-boyfriend. So I really don't understand the logic. I still don't really understand this logic, but I'm not obviously the fathers should be held accountable too. I'm not saying they may not be the ones responsible for the death, but what I'm trying to say is that maybe if they were in that kid's life, if they're willing to look after the kid, maybe that would make a huge difference, and then maybe the women wouldn't feel that way towards kids. Not that I justify it, but you'll notice a positive change in the child's life, because he'll be treated better, he'll be cared for, because not only does he or she have one parent, he has 2 parents. But who knows though, I don't have all the answers, you guys, but something tells me maybe if the mother is very toxic and she has a bad attitude, maybe who knows, trust me when I say that there are mothers out there that literally prevent their boyfriends, their husbands from literally seeing their kids. So who knows, maybe she's preventing him from wanting to see her kids, so that only she can benefit off of suffering, off of her kid and her boyfriend suffering. If that in itself doesn't say evil, what else would you call it? What else would it be?
Pierce arrived in Detroit Thursday evening, 16 days after the Wayne County prosecutor first announced those charges. She's being held without bond.
The people of the state of Michigan versus Brandy Catrice Pierce.
Brandy Catrice Pierce stood stone-faced during a video arraignment Friday. The 41-year-old mother was recently extradited from Georgia to formally face charges for the murder of her 9-year-old son, Zamar King. Assistant prosecuting attorney Tina Ripley asked the court to keep Pierce behind bars.
The facts in this case are nothing short of egregious. Zamar King was a 9-year-old child who was treated like he was a piece of garbage. He deserved better.
Rayed Murad, Pierce's attorney, says she suffers from mental disorders that she may not have taken her medication for.
It's easy to, read off a police report and read the most egregious allegations and then confine somebody to jail. What I'm asking the court to do here is to use the least restrictive means possible and confine her to a homeless shelter.
7 investigators obtained records dating back to 2015, showing Pierce was the subject of 4 CPS complaints. The records show Pierce admitted to using marijuana and alcohol while pregnant with Zamar. The boy was found wandering alone in the lobby of an apartment building when he was 4 years old. 2 years later, Zamar was left alone in a locked vehicle in 78-degree weather. And last April, the boy told CPS he had not been to school in more than a year. He sometimes has no food to eat and that his mother whoops him, choked him, and wants to kill him.
Fast forwarding to October of 2024, we believe that the evidence will show that the defendant's mother suffocated Zamar and that the defendant heard his last gasping breath and decided to walk away.
Investigators say Pierce fled Michigan with her other son and ultimately landed in Georgia. Police there arrested Pierce for leaving the boy locked in a rental car for about an hour while the temperature was in the low 40s. Police say the boy was naked, his skin cold to the touch, and there was feces in the car. That child now in foster care in Georgia. Now, Pierce is set for a probable cause hearing next week. As for Zamar King, his funeral will be held at Cantrell Funeral Services in East Point Saturday.
But the thing is, though, it's like, because we don't know the whole history behind this, but it wouldn't surprise me if maybe this woman is preventing her boyfriend or husband from actually seeing the kid so that she could be able to reap the benefits. But at the same time, if your life is that miserable, wouldn't it be nice to have him around? But if he decides to leave there has to be a reason. Chances are the wife is very toxic, or she's literally leeching off him. She's expecting only him to work while she's relaxing at home, doing whatever she wants, even if she's cleaning, doing the dishes, making food and stuff. But it's like there are women out there that always expect the men to do the work, and it would take this opportunity to leech off them. But a serious note, that does not excuse this woman's behavior, because people are claiming that she should go to a homeless shelter. She needs to seek some sort of therapy. She has mental issues. But the thing is, though, again, she is an adult. It is her responsibility to take the medicine. And even if whatever she's going through, whatever her mental illness may be, how it's affecting her, whatever the side effects are, that does not justify her abusing her kid or like taking his life. Let's be real on that note. If anything, she deserves the full extent of the law, and considering based on her, just by looking at her, by her face, she has no emotion, she has no soul. She has no remorse for what she did, and she just wants to get over with, because it looks like she knows she's guilty, but because she knows what is the point even talking, because there's no way she can justify it. But at the same time, it's like she feels better off without it. That's what I'm seeing based on her facial expression. But again, I do send my condolences to Zamar King. Hopefully he rests in peace, and I wish this woman suffers the consequences, and hopefully maybe the people in prison can make an example out of her. But overall, I feel like I said enough for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to check for more upcoming content later in the future. Be sure to check your notifications. Comment, like, subscribe. Thank you.
Linger bright